Today's Mercedes-Benz interview of the day brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Celebrate the journeys that bring us closer together with an exclusive offer on a vehicle you'll adore. Mercedes-Benz holiday love celebration going on now through January 2nd. Learn more at mbusa.com/special offers. Ariel Helwani, host of the Ariel Helwani Show, executive editor of the new combat sports hub uncrowned.com, and a reporter for Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. Tuned in, all of a sudden I see my guy on stage. He's there asking questions, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Ariel Helwani joining us on the program. Let's start with the slap. Your reaction when you saw it.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Dan. I can't believe I'm one of your guys. This is a massive honor for me. It's always great to talk to you, always a huge thrill. And yeah, I was there yesterday at the weigh-ins. You know, there's been a lot of talk about who this version of Mike Tyson is, what we're going to see tonight, what this is all about. You've been around for a long time. You've seen the many different versions of Mike. That was 1990s version of Mike. You know, he may be 58, but that demon, that beast never goes away. And when Jake walked up to him like that, and as we found out later, stepped on his toe, that guy comes back. He cannot control it. That was not scripted. That was not fake. That was not any of that. And I'll tell you this, the look on his face as I was trying to interview him afterwards, and I was standing, you know, as far away as possible, like I was holding a piece of meat trying to feed a lion. I have never seen that look on a human being's face. Forget fighter. I have never seen that look on a human being's face before. I've never been in a Tyson broadcast before. That was terrifying stuff.
But also, you have a lot of people who are skeptical about this. Is it real? You have Mike, who's 30 years older than Jake Paul. Jake Paul is, you know, I guess a professional boxer. When will we know this is a real fight that will put to rest that, you know, is this scripted?
This is 100% a real fight. And look, I'm not a part of the promotion. I don't work for the promoter. I have the great opportunity to work for Netflix tonight. It's a huge deal. It's probably going to be the most watched combat sports event of all time by the time everything is said and done. Mike Tyson doesn't do fake. He doesn't play fight. In fact, afterwards, I spoke to his son, Amir Tyson, who's part of the broadcast as well. And the look on his face was so telling as well. He was pacing back and forth because this is the first time he really gets to see his father in this sort of light and on this platform. He was so young when Mike was fighting. He said, people don't understand. He doesn't do YouTube boxing. He doesn't do this fake stuff. This is a different type of human being. He is wired differently. There's a demon inside of him that he just can't switch off regardless of his age. And so ultimately, look, I will be honest, when I first heard about this, I felt the same way and I still feel the same way as everyone else. A 58-year-old historically does not fight and shouldn't be sanctioned to fight. I have no idea what we are going to witness, what this is all going to look like. But Mike Tyson isn't coming to play. It may mean that he lasts 30 seconds in there, but there is nothing scripted about what we're going to see tonight.
Besides the money, what does Jake Paul gain by fighting Mike Tyson?
A lot of fame, a lot of attention. Jake Paul likes to be the heel, and if you don't know what that term means, that's a pro wrestling term, the bad guy. He likes the idea of everyone saying, poor Mike is being, you know, fed to the lions. He's being led to slaughter. Oh, he's 58. How dare you, Jake Paul, talk about knocking him out in the year 2024 and saying that you're now the baddest man on the planet. You're not the baddest man on the planet if you knock out a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, but he loves that heat. He wants that heat, and he's got grandiose plans. After this fight, he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. And by the way, I'm not going to say that that's not going to happen because every step of the way, people have been saying these things aren't going to happen, and they're happening because of the money that's attached to Jake Paul right now, because of the platform. Netflix is getting into this because it's Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, not just because it's the Mike Tyson show. It's the two of them. And look, I have kids who are 12 and 10. They think, and I try to explain to them, they think Jake Paul is Muhammad Ali. To them, boxing is Jake Paul. And then there's my age who are like, please tell me Mike is going to shut this kid up. And so what makes this so fascinating is the generational clash between the 40, 50, 60-year-olds and the 10, 20-year-olds.
I've been telling my audience that I met Mike in 1986. I was there for Marvis Frazier. I was there for Michael Spinks. I think I saw between 6 and 8 of his fights. And the look when he comes into the ring is the look that you're talking about. It's, my car is running, I'm going to kick your ass, and then I'm going to leave and go party. And Mike had that moment yesterday. I didn't know if he was capable of that. During the commercial, we play archival footage and interviews. And Mike, in 2017, I talked to him And I said, who do you want a piece of? He goes, oh, I don't want to fight anybody anymore. But I don't know what it took to get him financially. Is he okay, Ariel?
My understanding is yes. The turnaround in his life, there was a period pre-hangover and all that where he was obviously in a tough spot. I think the work that
Pre-hangover, the movie.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
the movie. Excuse me. Yes, the movie did wonders. I mean, we forget that this man went to prison, convicted rapist, and it's just been sort of forgotten about. Like the transformation and the comeback is remarkable, and I think a lot of that credit goes to his wife Kiki, who helped get him back on the right path, so to speak. And so he's fine, and he's making a boatload of cash. He will be okay. There's one moment in that countdown series that aired on Netflix that I can't stop thinking about. He's watching Jake Paul call him out after his last fight, and he looks to the camera and he goes, "The difference between me and him is that he's a manufactured killer. TV made him into a killer. I'm a natural born killer." And I get chills just saying that because Mike better than me and better than most. This guy's different. And to see that version of him in 2024, I'd love to ask you, if I may, how do you feel about this? You saw Mike in his prime. 58, you shouldn't be fighting, but he's a different kind of cat. Do you feel some sort of way about it? Do you feel uncomfortable? Are you excited? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I just don't want him embarrassed. I just don't want that, because then you're going to have a whole generation of going, what's the big deal about this guy? He's 30 years older. This guy is in his prime. I even asked Mike, I said, how would this go if you were 27? And he said it wouldn't go well for him.
No.
We know that he wouldn't get in. If they were both 27, Jake Paul would be in a corner hiding and probably in a fetal position. I just don't want Mike to be, when Buster Douglas knocked him down, and we see this with a lot of people, once you get defeated, and certainly in UFC and in boxing, if you lose that one time, you lose that invincibility. Like, it's gone now. And when Mike got knocked down by Buster, all of a sudden, he wasn't the baddest man on the planet. And the longer that you had him in the ring, the more susceptible he was, because he's not a great boxer. He's an unbelievable, puncher. And Holyfield could beat him, and Lennox Lewis can beat him. All these guys, I'll string you out. But Mike, when he got in the ring and what he did when he got in there was unlike anything we'd ever seen. And I just hope, worst case scenario, Ariel, is it goes the distance and he loses, by decision. Like, if that happens, great. Now, don't do it anymore, Mike, because I'm worried he's going to be calling out Lennox Lewis and go, hey, or Holyfield again. Like, I don't want that. And boxing shouldn't be that. Like, when did it dip? When did UFC, there was an intersection, and then all of a sudden UFC took off, and then boxing just became a secondary sport. Can you look back on when maybe it happened?
It's been a slow build. I will say around the time of UFC 100 with Brock Lesnar and whatnot, the UFC really took a big step when they did the deal with Fox in 2012, huge. 2018, they do the deal with ESPN, gigantic. The pandemic helped the UFC tremendously. But if I can offer this, I would love to just say that I hear a lot of people, especially in sports media, and I'm not certainly talking about you here, but I hear a lot of people kind of coming after me and saying, this is a referendum on the state of boxing, ruined and soiled by this event. First of all, these people aren't watching a lick of boxing each and every week on DAZN, on ESPN, on Amazon Prime. They couldn't care less about boxing. So spare me your thoughts on the state of boxing. I do have a news flash for everyone. Boxing is doing actually tremendously well. There's a litany of big stars. We just had an undisputed heavyweight title fight in May. We're getting a second one in December. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. There's Naoya Inoue in Japan and Terrence Crawford. And on it goes. Boxing is doing just fine. And if you care so much about the sanctity of boxing, please do me this favor. Watch the rest of this card, because the co-main event is Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, the two greatest female boxers of all time, arguably. Katie Taylor, 2012 Olympic gold medalist. They had a fight in Madison Square Garden in 2022. One of the greatest fights that I've ever seen live in person, male or female, one of the greatest spectacles. They're running it back tonight in the co-main event. So if you care so much about boxing, do me a favor and watch them as well, because they deserve this attention and platform too.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of those people, almost like Caitlin Clark with the WNBA. People never watch the WNBA, and then they're only watching, and now they have a referendum on the WNBA. So exactly. I understand what you're saying. Who do you think wins tonight?
Well, Dan, I consider myself a a broadcast journalist. I'm from the great Newhouse School of Syracuse University, and when you're working a broadcast, you try to abstain from making a pick because I know Mike is a big fan of yours, and I don't want him to be watching this right now and saying, "Oh, you're the guy who picked against me," as I'm doing the post-fight interview in the cage, in the ring, like my hero Howard Cosell would do back in the day. So I'm going to sit this one out. I will say the winner tonight will be the fans. 280 million subscribers, most watched sporting event as far as combat sports is concerned, and it's just a massive honor for me to be a small part of it.
And will the sunlight have any effect on the boxing tonight in Dallas?
Well, the main card kicks off, pardon the pun, at 7 Central. It's getting dark pretty early these days.
Okay.
So by the time these guys walk out, it'll be around 9:30 or so Central. So I would say not.
Good luck. Have fun.
Thank you.
Yes. Keep your questions short, open-ended, before and after. Get them talking. That's what you want.
That means the world to me. Thank you so much. Truly,
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
All right, Ariel. Thank you. Ariel Helwani, host of the Ariel Helwani Show. He's been a guest many, many times talking about UFC and also new combat sports hub, uncrowned.com.